I wanted to do a quick overview on how to use Academic Search Complete to help you not only find information, but how to better refine your topic. So you start out in the Edison Library website, um, go to databases. When you click on that, you're going to come to here. It's going to ask you for on campus or off campus. If you're on your personal computer, you are off campus. You will click Academic Search right here, and you'll be asked for your username and password. Sorry, I just got some emails. Get rid of these. And once you enter your username and password, the library card is on the bottom or on the back of your student ID. You need to enter that. If you don't have one, you need to call the library and get one. So we have a basic, familiar looking search bar. It's pretty easy. We can search for any topic. So I'm going to use a student example, and I asked for 4 just so you can play around with them and figure out which ones you want. So let us look for disposable contact lens. See if we can find any information. I wrote lens incorrectly. So here we have 473 sources. That's a lot to really get into, especially when we look at some of the titles. The influence of end-of-day silicone hydrogel daily disposable contact lens, customer loyalty, modern disposable removal, things like that. So none of these are necessarily helpful at this point. What we do is a couple things. Is we can go over to subject, thesaurus term, and subject. So we can look at the topics themselves. I just clicked on the show more, and you'll see a few other things in here, and a lot of it doesn't necessarily line up. So because that's subject, it may not give us the best. So instead we go to thesaurus terms, and here we have the actual thing. We click on that. We're going to get this: customer loyalty, one eye optical quality, take stock of your contact lens. So we have some information. It's still not a lot that's going to help us find information for our topic. We're looking at chronologically the creation of the first disposable contact lens. So we're going to add one more word up in the search term: history. That's not right. So we'll look at that a little bit more. So we're getting a lot of medical studies, and there's only 9 for us to really look at. This doesn't necessarily look like it is in our time period at all. So we'll research a little bit more. If you notice, I am putting in just major words instead of and the. That way it doesn't confuse it too much. So we'll search for some more. Some very interesting stuff about contact lenses, but not necessarily things that we are really looking for. So I'll narrow it down one more time by thesaurus term. You can see there's a lot, so we just have to go to contact lenses, update. So here's one. I don't know if it's going to be good, but what happens is when we click on this, we get what's called an abstract right here. Advantages of using soft contact lenses, concept behind creation of soft contact lenses. So we might be able to use this if this gives us some good information. It's from 1974, which is great. So we're getting some good information. Now we can download it right over here in order to read it. Once you do this, you need to save it. It's going to have some good information, I think. So this would be a keeper. you want to go to this download button, download it. Do not copy this because it's what's called a proxy link. It's a temporary URL. It is going to disappear once you log out. So instead, once we go back to this search thing, there's a few things we can do over here with our tools. You can save it, you can email the source to yourself, and you can create what's called a permalink. When you click on permalink, it's going to put this little URL right up here. You copy that, and then you can use that to get back to any other time. I just recommend also saving it and then writing down your titles. It might even also be helpful to create a new Word document. Wait for it to come up. So you create a new Word document and you call it sources, and then you jump back and forth, sorry. Copy the title, right? And then you can do your permalink. And then the next thing is the most awesome thing. You could, if you really want to, you can copy the abstract as well. Right here, you can copy that. But next is the works cited page. Right here, you click on this, and you get the works cited entries for almost every single format out there. We're going to scroll down to MLA, Modern Language Association, and you copy this. This is going to be generally correct. Sometimes it might be a little bit off, like the author's name or the title will be in all caps. That would be incorrect. Anyway, what you want to do is you put that there. Now you have the works cited entry. The only thing you need to do is make sure it's hanging indentation. To do that, you highlight it and you can hit Control Tab, and that's going to do it. Or you can go into your font and go into, or not your font, your format, and go into paragraph, and you would need to click on indentation and do hanging. And you might as well wait till the end and just do it all hanging. So that's what you can do to get your information. Do not copy the abstract because that would be plagiarism. So maybe contact lenses is a viable source or topic. Maybe it's not. If not, we can look at something else, such as Motorola. We can search for that. Again, 138, but we get some interesting things that might be good. Mobile phones, history in 10 industry-changing devices. You can also look at dates. So this is 1997. That's a little bit above or newer than our time period that we want, but here we have some information. So what we can do is we have subject terms in here. So we click on mobile communication systems. And all of a sudden we have 16,000 more sources. So we go to the source terms again, click on cell phones. It's going to narrow it down to 1,938. And now we're going to see some more information. We could probably narrow it down a little bit more if we need to. So we might be able to find some things as well. So narrowing it down is a helpful thing to do using our thesaurus terms. Other things you can do is you go into advanced search. You can do that and see what you get. That's 4,000. That's a little bit more we want. So we might want type in the word invention and see what we get. 9. Invention of cells. Hold the phone. So this one's from 2003. Talks about carriers. So it's going to take a little bit of work to try to figure out what it is, what words we need to use. Something else we can do is we put cell phone in quotations. See what we get. You can also, so we have something in a different language, you can click on the show more. You can limit it to only English language. You can actually do a lot more limiting. You can do PDF text only, but I don't recommend that. You can do scholarly articles only, things like that. So click that. So we have 23. New technologies. Let's see, that's not going to be helpful. So we're getting some information, but it's not necessarily exactly what we need. It will take some more time to go through and more time that I want to actually do. But play around with your words, play around with your dates. We might try one more thing. Type the word cell phone, 36,000 results, but we're going to use this publication date. We're going to go to 90, let's say 6. 97 will be okay. 1970, right? 1968, that'll be okay. So here we have some things that are actually published that'll give us some more information. It's still 1,194 sources. It's going to take a while to get through, but you can narrow things down fairly easily. So do that with any of your sources. Another student was looking at the Persian Gulf War. So we have 4,311. So there's a lot of things in here, but what we want to do is we're not going to look at the entire war itself. So instead, you can look at some of these specific issues, the Iraq-Kuwait crisis, 91. That would be okay. So there's lots of little things in here that we might be able to look at, such as the guided missiles. That might be an aspect of the war you want to look at. So you might want to look at the use of guided missiles in the Persian Gulf War. That was a big deal at the time. So here we have now a bunch of articles, Star Warrior. So we have some information. Again, you click on this, you read the abstract. Here we have a nice long summary that tells us about it. So we're getting some basic information, and that could be a focus. So the idea is not necessarily to think about your topic as a whole, but what in there can you write about. So, so the entire Persian Gulf War, which lasted for quite a while, it's going to be too much to write about. Look at one little thing, soldiers or a specific battle or a technology such as this, and that's going to help you out. Again, click on this, get the works cited, get that, read the article, understand what it's about. And that is going to help you narrow down your topics. You really have to play with it. Lots of times your search terms will be either too broad or just not the right word. So you have to play around, figure out what word is going to work for you. So look at these subject terms. Maybe you want to look at something like this or geographic terms. That's going to help you narrow things down as well. Once you find maybe that elusive one article that has something, click on these and you'll get more information, other similar sources. So hopefully that is helpful, and let me know if you have questions.